today we're going to solve a little mystery. And yet, it starts with a car problem, but it's really about something we all deal with online. You know, when you find that perfect looking answer, but it turns out to be, well, a little empty. This is less about fixing a car and more about becoming a much smarter searcher online. Okay, you know the feeling. You're just driving along, and then bam! That dreaded check engine light comes on. Ugh, it's the worst. So you do the right thing, you get the code scanned, and it spits out something totally cryptic like P040D. What on earth is that? Of course, your first move is to pull out your phone and ask the internet for a quick fix. And then you see it. Jackpot! A web page with this title. I mean, come on. It sounds absolutely perfect, doesn't it? It's for a Ford, it's got our exact code, P040D, and it even promises troubleshooting. This has got to be the answer. Oh, but it gets even better. Would you look at that? 5 out of 5 stars, and not just from a couple of people, from 183 votes. A perfect score from that many users? Okay, that seals it. Our trust is through the roof. This is for sure the guide we've been looking for. But hang on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we celebrate, we gotta put on our detective hats for a second. A savvy searcher knows you can't just trust a great headline. We need to dig in and see what clues the page itself is giving us. All right, let's scan the page. So, up top, the navigation bar shows they cover a ton of car brands. Ford, Dodge, Chevy, the whole 9 yards. Seems legit. And the recent post section? It looks like a huge, active database of error codes. But then we spot our first little red flag. Under recent comments, it says, no comments to show. For a page that supposedly has 183 5-star votes, isn't that a little odd? And yeah, if you glance at those other posts, you'll see codes for Dodge, Chevy, Ram, all sorts of stuff. It really makes the site look like this super comprehensive, busy resource. It seems like they're just cranking out content. But remember, we're not here for any of that. We're here for our problem. Which brings us right back to the whole reason we clicked on this link. We don't care about a Ram truck or a Chevy. We are laser focused on one thing and one thing only, that promised explanation for our Ford P040D code. So let's ask the million-dollar question. After that perfect title, after the 5-star rating, what does this page actually tell us to do about the P040D code? Where are those troubleshooting steps it promised to unravel? And here it is. The big twist. The answer? It's just not here. The page has everything but the answer. It's got the title, it's got the rating, it's got the links in the sidebar. But the one thing it's missing is the actual information, the core content. It's completely empty. Okay, I know, that's incredibly frustrating. But it's also a really, really important lesson. This whole thing teaches us something vital about how we use the internet. So forget the car code for a minute. This is about leveling up our skills as searchers. There's actually a name for what we just found. It's called a content shell. The best way to think about it is like a model home on a new housing development. It looks fantastic from the curb, right? But you walk inside and it's just an empty shell. It has all the right keywords and titles to get you to click, but the actual substance, the information you came for, it's just not there. So how do we spot these empty shells and avoid wasting our time? Well, here are 4 quick steps. First, always look past the headline. Second, actually scan the page for real content. You know, paragraphs of text, diagrams, actual details. Third, look for real human interaction, like detailed comments, not just the suspicious reading number. And finally, number 4, if the info is important, always try to find it on a second, different website to confirm it's real. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This webpage was basically a trap, designed to get our click, but give nothing in return. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? With all the information out there, how many of the so-called answers we find online are just empty promises?